What is up, everybody? Jay Costa here. So today I wanted to go over and share with you 6 different money traps, money mistakes that people make and that you need to completely avoid in the year 2022. But first, before I get started, if you find any value or enjoyment out of this video, please smash the like button down below. It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm and growing my channel. On this channel, we talk about investing in the stock market, investing in real estate, general entrepreneurship. If you have any interest in learning more about what we talk about on this channel, please consider subscribing down below. Would truly appreciate it. Now, thanks for watching and on to the video. My first money trap to avoid in the year 2022 is lifestyle creep. So what is lifestyle creep? Well, lifestyle creep is basically the rule that as you make more money in your career or in your business, you just start naturally spending more of it. Now, some of it is unavoidable. Obviously, it's easier to control expenses if you're just a single person, or as you grow a family, you're gonna need a bigger house, you're gonna need the space, your utility bills are gonna be higher, your food costs are gonna be higher. That's unavoidable. But a lot of it, I would say maybe even most of it, is avoidable. And I see it all the time and it bothers me. As people get more successful, whether it's a career or a business, and they make more money, they almost feel obligated or deserving of spending it all. So people just start overspending on their lifestyle choices, whether it's a car, whether it's clothing, vacations, anything. You don't need a lot of it. I saw a poll recently that showed that I believe the number was over 60% of Americans that make over 100 grand a year, which is a good salary for most of this country, are still living paycheck to paycheck. That is not excusable at all. And the reason is because of lifestyle creep. You don't need a new car every 3 years on a lease. You don't need a new iPhone every year or two. Keep the iPhone for 4 or 5 years, you'll be just fine. Keep the same car for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, you will be just fine, I promise you. Cars in particular are literally the biggest waste of money I've ever seen because they're very expensive, especially now, and they don't, 95% of them don't hold their value at all. They are depreciating assets. The second you buy or even lease a new car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's losing a whole bunch of value. Now, once again, some of that is unavoidable. You need a car. Most people need a car. But you don't need to get a $70,000 car when you can get a $30,000 car. You should be putting as much as possible into assets and as little as possible into liabilities. And a car is like the #1 biggest liability. The second money mistake that I see people constantly making is not automatically investing. So when you get a paycheck, you should invest first, pay bills second, and then spend the rest. Now, when I say pay bills second, obviously there's some bills that need to be paid first. If you have thousands of dollars of credit card debt at super high interest, you should be paying those off every single month, okay? Full balance. So you should pay that off. You should be paying your mortgage or rent first, of course. After that, you really should be investing first, paying the other bills second. Whatever's left is what you can spend. You really don't need that much in your checking account, not nearly as much as you think. This brings me to my third money mistake that people make, and it's very timely right now, and that is having too much saved. So you may say, Jay, how could I have too much saved? Right now, we have high inflation. They just came out with the CPI data, the Consumer Price Index, of 7.5% inflation compared to this time last year. So that means if you have $100, it's now worth $92.50. You don't need nearly as much money as you think sitting in a checking or a savings account. A emergency fund is a great idea, but even that, you don't need that much in regards to an emergency fund. My local bank pays 0.6%. Take that money, split it in half. You don't need nearly as much as you think. Split it in half. Just go invest it. Put it into an ETF, an index fund, bonds, whatever you want. Whatever's going to beat out inflation. Once again, be investing as much as you can into assets. My fourth money trap, money mistake that people make all the time is spending too much on the small stuff. I'm talking about the coffee at Starbucks every day. I'm talking about the Netflix subscription that you don't even really use. I'm talking about eating out every day from a restaurant, taking out instead of cooking something in your house. All of those small things add up to something substantial at the end of the week, the end of the month, and the end of the year. Now, there is a caveat to this though. It depends tremendously on where you're at in your life, because saving and keeping track of all the small stuff is extremely important when you're just starting out. But once you're established in your career or your business is built and you're making, a fair amount, this brings me to my number 5 money mistake that people make is not valuing their time. I'll talk with my own experience. When I was just starting out, I saved as much as possible. I would stress out over getting an $8 sandwich. It was that crazy, and I would save as much as possible because I wanted to invest as much as possible. I didn't need anything substantial when I was 23 years old. I wanted to build for the future and build something great. Once I started to, make had some sort of success in my career, in my work, I realized that even though I was making a healthy amount of money, that I was still stressing out over the same $8 sandwich. This is not a good idea. When you're established, you need to value your time, and that was a very big learning lesson for me. I finally realized that it's not worth it to stress over small stuff like an $8 sandwich or even an $80 computer keyboard that I wanted or something. Every once in a while, it's not a big deal because I found myself thinking about if I should need that $80 computer part for a day, and I just lost a day of my life, and that time is worth way more than $80. And time is obviously, as they say, the most valuable asset that we have. So you need to protect it, especially when you can protect it. When you have money invested, you have that ability to protect your time. Sometimes people can't protect their time. You should use that to your advantage and protect your time. And lastly, my number 6 money mistake that I see people all the time falling for is buying crap for status. Now, I'm talking about jewelry, I'm talking about watches, I'm talking about designer bags, designer clothes. Obviously, you could put even a car into this, but we already talked about that earlier in the video. Anything that you're buying just so you can walk around and have it on you or with you or impress people, don't do it. I don't care how much you're worth, don't do it. You could be worth $1 trillion. You don't need a $2,000 jacket. I promise you, you don't like the jacket that much. You want it to impress people. Now, I know there's a big watch community, obviously, and they're into watches. It's a hobby. They hold their value. They're collectors. That's all cool. I guarantee you 95% of people wearing a Rolex watch or any watch similar to that, they're wearing that watch to impress people and for the status symbol that it provides. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about these 6 money mistakes that I share with you today in the comment section down below. Do you follow some of these? Do you disagree with some of these that I shared? Let me know what you think. Also, as I said earlier, if you got any value or enjoyment out of this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Would greatly appreciate it. We talk about general entrepreneurship, real estate investing, stock market investing, all things like that. So if you have any interest in those topics and want to hear more from me and join our growing community, please hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.